Okay, so day 2 of the declutter challenge, and you can see that I have removed all sorts of books from the bookshelf and other stuff like games and arts and etc. And I have found a box where I am putting some books into that are memories, really, that I don't suspect I'm going to use for a few years. So I'm going to put them into one of my girls' bedrooms in the closet, and one of the girls that are no longer here, and maybe I'll pull them out for her kids. We'll see. You can see that I have not entirely tackled the table. A lot of the stuff on this side is actually some of the stuff that my son has done this year, and I'm going to put that into a portfolio, so I'm not going to put it away yet. But I do have a giant stack of books accumulating that I have permission from all my kids to get rid of. I can share them with other people. And though I really like some of these books, and frankly, I loved reading them to the kids, like these ones, Recipes for Adventure. This is a cook, Giada de Laurentiis, and she has her own cooking shows, and she's just really just fun books. This, if you're a Canadian history, and of course this is like really solid Canadian history, but this is just really fun stuff for, I don't know, an 8-year-old. And you can see how many words are on the page. Totally depends on your 8-year-old, by the way. I've had a few 8-year-olds that would either read or not read this. And of course, I've got the Magic Tree House, the Littles. They're well loved, but you know what? They're really, really clever, and they're a lot of fun. And I was thinking, oh, and here's Magic School Bus. Like, are you a homeschooler if you haven't read a Magic School Bus or also watched a video and called it science? So I was thinking that with all of these books, I was gonna give them away anyways, or at least I know that I'm not gonna make a lot of money on them if I sell them on a site. So then I thought, well, why don't I just sell them alongside the purchase of one of my books? So if you want to purchase one of my books, I will send you maybe a stack of the clementines. Have you seen the clementines? For free, but I'll ask you pay for the shipping. So if you're interested, let me know. Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about the principles that I use, for decluttering my home. Some of the stuff that I share in my book, Homeschool Mama Self-Care, it turns out I've got a whole lot of decluttering ideas, simplifying ideas. And did I ever tell you that we backpacked across Italy for 3 weeks with the kids, with all 4 kids, doing that kind of stuff? And we've also traveled into Africa, rural Africa, a couple times, doing those really big trips with very little luggage, with 6 people. I think that deserves an honor, like a badge of honor, because giving a child a backpack and saying, this is all you're gonna have for the next 6 weeks, that's really hard to do. But it has taught me this. You can do it. And so all this stuff, we don't really need all this stuff. It's fun. And books, like, how am I giving away this book? Have you ever read Listening for Lions? This is a book that we read while we were in rural Africa, and it's an amazing story. And I can't give these books away. I'm just one of those moms. I'm gonna have a hard time giving it away. But I do know that when we declutter our stuff, we're decluttering our minds. And really, someone had given me this idea that when you're cleaning your stuff or you're putting your stuff away into a place that it was designated for, we're just prepping it for the next use, which I think is useful because then you know where it is. And I want a show of hands if there's any other mother out there that actually doesn't know where the scissors are. I think I have half a dozen pairs of scissors, and I don't know where any of them are at any given time. The only one that I know for sure is in the kitchen is the meat scissors. But other than that, it's hard to know where they are. Also erasers. Okay, so if you're new to this homeschool thing and you're thinking, well, I'm gonna be home and so therefore the house is gonna be cleaned, I just want you to know that's a myth. Your home will not be cleaner because your home, it will be messier. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about all the wonderful messes that we do experience as homeschool families that probably are unique to homeschool families. I think we can establish a daily household routine with our kids so that they know that we're decluttering on the regular. And I mean decluttering not like I'm going through each of my books to figure out, do I want to keep this forever? I mean, you know, the random stuff that finds its way into the living room that you're like, why is there a kite underneath the sofa? or there's BB bullets in the bathroom sink, that kind of stuff. What do you do about that? Besides go, maybe they should just not have any toys. That's probably not the best option. But what we could do instead is have a time of the day when we routinely go pick up things together. Maybe it's before you get your homeschool day started, or maybe it's around 4 o'clock prepping for dinner, well before dinner, that you're prepping just to tidy stuff up. So it could be just 15 minutes and the kids know that we're all going to do it together. And as I said yesterday, when we get into the habit of cleaning once a week, and we know that, say, Saturday morning or Friday afternoon, because it doesn't have to be on the weekends, you could clean the house together once a week. But choose a day, be consistent. Do the cleaning together. That's what I'm going to tell you. And if you can, hire help. You want to know why I'm not hiring help? Because I think it's actually useful for them to learn how to take care of stuff and get used to taking, doing all the kind of unhappy, menial kind of work that requires you to organize and see whether or not you're taking care of your stuff. So that is the reason that I do this, because officially I could probably hire help, but I don't want to. But if you're in that stage of life where you have little ones, or you just had a baby, or you've had some major earthquaking thing in your world, then hire help, even if it's just once or twice a month or just a couple times at all. It's really relieving to know that somebody else took care of that stuff and you can settle into nursing the baby or whatever it is you do. And also you could be supplying a homeschool high schooler a job. Both that person is learning how to take care of things themselves, but they're getting a job, and it's probably during the weekdays because they're homeschoolers. You can learn to start house cleaning together when they're young. And frankly, that's probably the only time they're gonna think, this is fun. I've got my mini pail with my scrubs and my mini broom or brush and dustpan. At that time, it's a lot of fun. So they get into the habit of doing it, even though have very low expectations. Use the buddy system. Get the older kids to teach the younger kids. This one has just been fun. This buddy system idea, right across all of the homeschool activities we do, whether it is some math curriculum or some math concept that a younger child is having a challenge with, when the older child in the home is helping the younger child learn that, not only is it giving you a break for a little bit, but it helps them learn how to reorganize their math concepts and review them and actually know, do they really know this concept from a couple years ago? But it also obviously creates, hopefully, a unified kind of moment for the kids so that it feels like, hey, they're really working together. And sometimes that'll happen and sometimes it won't, but I definitely have it on camera and can think of a few moments where it has happened. In fact, my oldest at home right now is incredibly helpful for my younger son who's homeschooling too. So the buddy system has all sorts of benefits. Some people will say, let's pick chores from a chore list and put it into a hat or into a bucket and then pull out chores for that week. And the variety might be beneficial to some. My kids are like, they just want to take ownership of their thing and they want to know that that's their thing. And also they don't want to get called out on, did the bathroom really get done by a sibling that maybe was supposed to do it and then it turns out it wasn't them that was doing it and everybody's confused who didn't clean the bathroom. So they like to know that they have their specific chores and they're going to do it. Now I just said clean the bathroom. So if you have a 2-year-old, that's not who I'm referring to cleaning the bathroom, or if it is, have really, really low expectations and be careful where that cleaning product goes. But when I'm talking doing those kind of chores, I'm talking about, I don't know, depends on your child, but anything from 10, 12, all the way up. Whatever age they actually can do something or they can start learning to do something. Not only is it helping you most of the time, not only is it helping you, but it really is teaching them that they are capable of doing something independent and they gain mastery over a skill. So this is probably not the most fun skill that they've got, but it does definitely make them have a sense of confidence that they're capable of doing something. Now, if you ask them that and say, honey, 15-year-old daughter, Are you feeling like this skill of doing the bathroom cleaning is making you feel independent and confident? I can guarantee you they'll probably say no thanks. But I think it is. So expect that you'll never be ready for the house and home photographers, or unless you're that homeschool mom on Instagram. And I know that sometimes I look like I'm that homeschool mom, but if you show up uninvited, you will only see one of those rooms like that. Remember that household activities are covered in all sorts of homeschool activities. So there's curriculum, and there's frogs, dead frogs on the counter waiting to be dissected when they're in biology, or there's chemistry experiments, or there's electrical things, or there's other stuff that has nothing to do with science. There's just like random stuff from outside that's brought inside. Does that happen to you? I've always got sticks in the mudroom, and it isn't my dog, because my dog does not fetch. Some people will say pay them for chores. I'm not that girl. But I will talk with my husband on a podcast interview today about how we actually structure teaching them finances and money, and how to manage their money. I do think that we should require them to learn to clean their bedrooms. Now, if you're thinking, well, my kid couldn't possibly do this because they're 4, well, then I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the ones that you know they could learn to do it. Learn is the operative word, because do it the way you do it, that is not what I'm talking about. I think there comes a time, though, where we not only have taught them how to do the specific tasks inside their rooms, but then we also come to a place where we accept the fact that they are not going to be as tidy as we are. And as I spoke to Simple Home Mom today, she said she was not a tidy teenager. I think I was, at least compared to my sister. But I don't think that my expectation of what tidy is now and what it was then, no, I'm a whole lot more tidy now than I was as a teenager. So expect the same thing with your kids. Your kids aren't going to figure this out just because you have it figured out. Unless you don't, and you're one of those moms that says, what are we talking about? I do not have this figured out. Your goal is to do this good enough so that the social worker isn't coming for a regular visit. That is all. But I say for the kids that are learning how to clean their rooms, close their doors. Unless you think that there's some black mold growing in the corner, or there's maybe some electrical thing that's dangling over the top of an aquarium waiting for your child to get electrocuted, or they happen to have a pair of matches and a collection of candles. I think you should just let it go. Really let it go. And I really do this. In fact, I'm not proud when friends come over, that's been a while, but when friends come over to our kids' bedrooms and maybe see what their room is like. When they're younger, they don't really care. Funny enough though, and I said this last week to a mom, it does happen where they start to care about their stuff. And I could go into two of my girls' rooms right now, and they're really lovely. They're really quite tidy. And they've learned that on their own, not because I forced it. I am not guaranteeing this is happening in your home either, though, because I know that that's not necessarily the case. But all kids need to have ownership of something in their lives. So give them ownership of their bedroom and let it be. Just let it be. Close the door, accept that kids make messes. They've got a lot going on too, maybe not what we've got going on, but let them have their own space and freedom. Beat the timer. If you've got younger kids and you just say, listen, we're going to spend 5 minutes cleaning up, or just 15 minutes, then beat the timer. Let's do this before the timer goes off, and then turn up the tunes, have some maybe music or playlist that's intended just for this time of week. You could either do the laundry, a laundry load a day. I'm not doing that either. But you could do that, and some people do, or you could do it once a week. Or if your kids get old enough and they're about the 11, 12-year-old age, let them do it. Yes, I know you need to teach them probably for 6 months to a year how to do this, that you don't need an entire cup of laundry detergent. You probably should never put bleach into the wash cycle. You probably, there's all sorts of different things that the kids need to learn. but they can learn this. And over the course of 6 months to a year, if you're directing them once a week or once a month to actually walk through the process with them, you do that, and you have invested a lot of time, of course, into this laundry learning thing, but you are releasing yourself from a significant job. And I will give you that your 12-year-old son might come downstairs with probably an entire month worth of laundry, and that is a lot. And he's been wearing that same shirt for a few days, and you keep telling him to change, and he's like, yep, I will, Mom, and he didn't, because there is no clean shirt. Yes, that may or may not have happened recently. So we have to accept that sometimes that is the case. And then when we go up into their rooms, after we've told them, hey, here's your laundry, we've folded it up, or you folded it up, go put it away. His put it away might mean that basket is still sitting in the bottom of his closet corner. And as long as he's not bringing that fully folded basket of clothing back downstairs in a month, I'm good. Let it go. Okay, so good enough is your goal. For all of these discussion points, these are ideas for you. How you actually do things is applicable to your world, and how you can create order and cleanliness, reasonable order and cleanliness, because from one homeschool mama to another that's been doing this for a long time, it's not going to end. There will always be laundry, there will always be dishes, there will always be dust, there will always be all of this stuff. And I know that from somebody that would really love to have a house that actually isn't dirty and doesn't always have something to do, it's just not a reality. So we have to accept the reality that our goal is peace of mind above all. Peace of mind in our homeschool experience. And sometimes peace of mind means we have to lower our expectation of how tidy something's going to be. So if somebody is coming over to your home and checking underneath your bed to make sure that there's no dust bunnies, like my mother had when she was young, yes, she did. Well, you're just going to have to say, you don't invite that person back, because you have a homeschool to run, you have a whole household to engage for quite a number of years, and there will be dust bunnies under the bed for quite some time. In fact, does anybody clean that? Okay, so if you have any thoughts about how to schedule routine cleaning or how to declutter your home, put them down in the comments down below, because I'd love to hear other people's ideas of how they actually tackle their homeschool stuff like that. I hope you have a good day. I'm off to go visit the baby goats. Talk to you soon.